there, everybody. Welcome to the classic MotoFest of Monterey with the folks here at AHRMA, American Historical Racing Motorcycle Association. Welcome back. If you are a regular watcher, thanks for tuning in. If you are new to the show, hey, thanks for joining us. As always, thanks for clicking, liking, and sharing this feed with all of your friends that love watching awesome motorcycle racing. We've got a great program, 2 full days, action-packed, live streaming the road racing part of this MotoFest. So MotoFest is here at Laguna Seca. This is the 3rd in 4 MotoFests that AHRMA is hosting for 2022. And what is a MotoFest, you might ask? Well, it is literally everything moto all in one place. It's road racing, it's dirt racing, it's going to be flat track, cross country. There's also bike shows and swap meets and parties. And we had this awesome bike night here in Carmel on Thursday night, which was absolutely just beautiful, awesome, cool old bikes, just a great time. Every one of these MotoFests, the intention is to bring all of our AHRMA race family together. The rest of the season, traditionally, we are separated out. Road racing does its own schedule, and then dirt racing does its own schedule. To see all of those schedules, make sure you head over to www.ahrma.org. Or if you want to figure out how you can come racing with us, you can also get that same information at ahrma.org. We're going to be kicking off this morning's program here in just a few minutes. I wanted to open up the camera a little bit early, peek in, say hey. If you're not familiar with the show, we're going to be live streaming the road racing. The morning program today and tomorrow both lasts about an hour. Then we take a break for lunch, and then we come back. And then the afternoon program is from about noon to about 5 p.m. So it is 2 full action-packed days full of live streaming road racing here at Monterey, this classic MotoFest of Monterey. I've got my my partner in crime up here, Mr. Jay McMacken, just ran up 3 flights of stairs to hand deliver a microphone to our opening ceremonies. We had the color guard out there performing and singing our national anthem, and it was beautiful.
It was neat.
Beautifully done. So we had to go run down there real quick and give them a microphone. So now he's going to jump on the mic and start doing the calls and getting everybody to the grids for our first race of the day. So we're going to be starting in just one moment. Let's go cruise around and check out the rest of the track while we get going, okay?
Attention out there in the paddock. We'd like to thank everybody for coming down and watching our color guard. A big thank you to Angela Roach for doing the singing out there. Angela is a mother of 3 and a native to Monterey. She has opened for artists such as Sugarland and Mark Willis, and has been singing the national anthem for WeatherTech Raceway Laguna Seca for many years. And again, Angela, thank you for that rousing rendition of the national anthem and the group that presented our nation's colors. At this time, well, let's go first call. First call for race number 1. Again, first call for race number 1. Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup, Sound of Singles 3, and Next Gen Superbike. And you guys will be up here in just a moment. Again, first call for race number 1. Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup, Sound of Thunder 3, Next Gen Superbike. Again, first call for race number 1.
So just a couple sites here at Monterey at Laguna Seca. Just beautiful weather out here. It is going to be a spectacular 2 days of racing. You know, the morning starts out really cool and foggy, but then it burns off, and we've just got this huge bright blue skies. It's probably about 65 or 68 degrees. Perfectly sunny day, absolutely beautiful. In case you hear Jay talking in the background, by the way, this is your behind the scenes. We are up here in the booth together, and he has got to talk to the race control and all that kind of stuff. So it's a little bit of a behind-the-scenes experience here. You get a little bit of everything. You get to see the racing. You get to see us in the booth and us working and all of our paperwork and computers and things.
What it takes to really run a race.
What it takes to really announce and run this race out here. So if you hear him talking in the background or both of us chatting in the background about cameras or who knows, that's because you're actually getting the behind-the-scenes experience. But I'll do my best to mute the microphone so that way you don't have to listen to it. But thanks again for tuning in. I've got on the screen right now a map of Laguna Seca so you can see all the different twists and turns. This is 2.238 miles track. Laguna Seca, historical racetrack here in the United States. Used to host MotoGP. That stopped a handful of years ago. Now, however, they do Moto America, which was just here. AHRMA, they do lots of car racing, classic car racing. Really, really just neat, just beautiful park, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome RV camping. It's just gorgeous. Speaking of gorgeous, let's go ahead and go take a look at it because it's just so beautiful out here.
Announce to control. Attention out here in the
takes a
paddock.
village.
Let's go second call. Let's go second call for race number 1. Vintage Superbike Heavyweight, sponsored by Tim CBX and CBX International Owners Association. Sound of Thunder 3, presented by N3 Racing and Motorcycle Supply, and Next Gen Superbike, presented by Appalachian Mountain Tours and Ned Heidel. You guys are up here in just a moment. Again, it's second call. Second call for race number 1. Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup, Sound of Thunder 3, Next Gen Superbike. You guys are up here in just a moment. Second call for race number 1.
Vintage Superbike Heavyweight and Sound of Thunder 3. Is that it? Oh no, Next Gen Superbike.
Yeah, Next Gen Superbike.
Alrighty, and let's get some sponsors going up here, because of course none of these races can be done without our awesome sponsors. So huge thanks to them. None of this would be possible without them. So let me go ahead and track them down and put them up on the screen for us all to look at. There we go. It takes a village. Okay, so in case you're wondering right now, if you're watching and playing along at home, thanks again for tuning in. This is my official, unofficial flagger cam, one of my favorite cameras I love to throw up here. This is a GoPro mounted right behind our flagger, Ed Bargy, who flags for us and does a heck of a job. A bit of an icon, a bit of a legend in his own right.
Oh yeah.
And it actually just got bonked, so we radioed him real quick and had him turn it back to the right a little bit. So it takes a village. Huge thanks to Ed for helping fix my camera. But this is going to be our very first race of the day. As I had just mentioned, we have a morning program that lasts for, I don't know, like 50 minutes.
To control and starter, I'm going
and then we
third.
take a lunch break, and then we come back, and our afternoon program is almost 5 hours long. So each race day is going to be two different live streams.
Attention out in the paddock. Let's go third call. Third and final call. Practice or race number 1. Race number 1. Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup. Sound of Thunder 3 and Next Gen Superbike. You folks want to pull the tire warmers off the bike, bring them down off their stands, and come on up. Zip up your leathers, grab your gloves, and pull on your helmet. It's time to go racing. Again, it is third call. Third and final call for race number 1. Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup. Sound of Thunder 3 and Next Gen Superbike. You guys are up right now. Again, it's third call. Third and final call for race number 1.
Shake and bake, Daniel May. Shake and bake. Thanks for tuning in. John Waverka and Jim McGrath. Thanks for tuning in, guys.
As the riders take to the track for their warm-up lap, here's how they're going to grid out for the Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup, presented by Tim CBX and the CBX International Owners Association. On row number 1, it's going to be bike number 1R, David Crussell, bike number 1V, Kevin Rammer, bike number 045, Curtis Adams, and bike number 90D, Darren Gavin. Then on row number 2, it's 41A, Kerry Andrews, 113, Andrew Gray, and bike number 10M, Mark Millo. And then rounding out that field on row number 3, it's bike number 71B, CJ Benura. For the Sound of Thunders 3, presented by N-Cube Racing and Motorcycle Supply, back on row number 5, it's bike number 1F, Kevin Grimmel, 47Z, Norman Smith, 34J, Kenberger, and 8NZ, Tony Dukas. Then row number 6, it's 811, Tommy Ryan, X16, Ray Cole, R66, Mike Root. On row number 7, it's 735, David Kilkenny, 188, Luke Luciano, 771, Ray Hoffman, and bike number 632, Dwayne Hickson. Then on row number 8, it's bike number 11, X Stuart Clotworthy, and bike number 99, Bruce Berry. For the Next Gen Superbike field, presented by Appalachian Mountain Tours and Ned Heidel. Back on row number 10 for that one, it's going to be bike number 1Y, Jim Barker, bike number 14, Brian Larabrewer, bike number 880, James McKay, and bike number 16R, Roger Baker. That's your field, and that's how they're going to grid up when they come back around. For the Vintage Superbike Heavyweight Vintage Cup, that's sponsored by 36, also known as ICOA. Tim's CBX is an independent shop that specializes in Honda CBX 6-cylinders. They sell parts, and offer services for the CBX only. They offer hundreds of OEM and custom parts to keep the Honda CBX on the road, and of course, they race one out here in Vintage Superbike Heavyweight. The International CBX Owners Association is the oldest Honda CBX club, and it's noteworthy that this is a single model motorcycle club. The Honda CBX 6-cylinder motorcycle was only produced for 4 years and still has a very popular following. For the class itself, this is a variety of machinery up through the 1982 model year based on showroom stock bikes. You'll see race-prepped 4-cylinder Japanese bikes out there in the 900 to 1,000cc range. Unlimited displacement pushrod triples such as the Triumph Trident and the BSA Rocket 3 are also out there. You'll also see unlimited displacement twins such as the BMW, Moto Guzzi, and Harley Davidsons, and even the 6-cylinder Honda CBX can be seen in this class. For the Sound of Thunder 3, sponsored by N-Cubed Racing and Motorcycle Supply, when duct tape and zip ties just won't do, give them a call. Motorcycle Supply is run by experienced gray-haired riders and racers serving motorcyclists with parts, accessories, and gear since 1988. Come see them in Manhattan, Kansas, the home of 1,300 miles of highways and only 11 curves. Gotta love Kansas. The field itself is comprised by a variety of twin-cylinder bikes, including the Harley XR1200. Pushrod overhead valve machines up to 1,000 cc's are also represented out there. Overhead cam engines with up to 3 valves per cylinder to 805 cc's can be seen. Single overhead cam machines with liquid-cooled V-twins to 750, and overhead cam liquid-cooled 4-valve engines up to 650s are out there.
Look at everybody heading out to the grids.
For the next-gen superbike field, sponsored by Appalachian Mountain Tours and Ned Heidel, AHRMA's mission with this class is to recreate and preserve the look and feel of this popular era of U.S. superbike racing. Based on production machinery available on the dealer showroom floor, these motorcycles were modified within a set of rules that kept machines looking relatively stock, but allowed a dramatic increase in performance. Out there, you'll see mid-80s to early 90s machines taken from the showroom and modified into race bikes. Twin-cylinder bikes up to 1,000 cc's and 4-cylinder bikes up to 750s from Honda, Kawasaki, Suzuki, and Yamaha can be seen out there. This is the era when riders like Fred Merkel, Bubba Schobert, and Wayne Rainey ruled the U.S. Looks like we've got the grid all set up out there, waiting for them to see the green flag starting here in just a moment. Looks like we got a slow bike, or we got one that's stalled. So
Somebody's got their hand up, so it looks like somebody's having a little trouble.
The bike is stalled, but we got to get the rider over the wall.
There we go. Alrighty, so we're gonna pull that bike over and let that person climb over and make sure everybody's safe. I would like to take a second and point out, Jay, that there's a lot of folks from the Midwest and East Coast here this year, which is really awesome to see.
Yeah.
A buddy of mine, David Kilkenny, is racing in this class, in this Thunder 3 class, and I just shared the page. I shared this feed over with Milvin Moto, so that he's a Milwaukee guy, so hello to all the Milwaukee folks.
Bye, Milwaukee.
But it's nice to see everybody coming all this way. I mean, it's just such a bucket list thing, right? To come,
Oh,
to come and
absolutely.
race Laguna. So we've got big grids today. I didn't double check this morning, but we had well over 200 riders, and most folks race at least, one or two or three classes.
As the green flag waves, bike number 1B, Kevin Rammer gets the jump on the field, leading him up over the hill, over down into turn number 1 and into turn number 2 as they're trying to figure out who's going to lead and who's going to follow here in the opening turns of this first race. Starter waiting to see that they've cleared turn 2. Now he turns back to the field. Second wave getting ready to take off. Here they go. It looks like bike number 811, Tommy Ryan from that second row, got a great start there himself as they rocket up the crest of the hill down into turn number 1 and 2 themselves. Waiting for them to come back around here in just a moment. We'll get the full running order when they complete lap number 1. Boy, I wish I could see the back section of this course.
Here they are making their ways through turns 3.
Looks like your field working their way over through turns 3 and 4 right now. Leaders out of 4 up the hill through turn 5, up towards the infamous corkscrew, waiting for him to come around to complete lap number 1.
Alrighty, this is gonna be the middle section of the Laguna track. Making their way over now.
2 bike race leaders out of the corkscrew down through turn number 9 over to turn number 10. Waiting for them to come through turn 11 as they've got about a half a front straightaway down the between the rest of the field. Here they come out of turn number 11. At the line, looks like it's going to be bike number 10M, Mark Miller leading 045. Curtis Adams, then that third place position right now belongs to Looks like it's going to be bike number 1R, David Crussell, although I think we might have a bike out there without a transponder. We're going to have to see how that goes. I'm looking off of Race Monitor, and I could swear we had a bike go by that didn't show up, and it looks like David Crussell on bike number 1R showed up in third. We'll get that straightened out here in just a moment. Meanwhile, 771, Ray Hoffman leading in his field as he's got in front of bike number 188, Luke Luciano, and then bike number 14, Brian Laraburu. He's started way back on row number 10. He's running about 6th overall. 880, James McKay back there at 716R, Roger Baker in 8th. 811, Tommy Ryan in 9th, and 34, Jay Kinberger rounding out your top 10 as the field completes lap number 1 of this 6-lap race.
All right, on your screen right now, we're seeing that middle pack start picking their way through turns 3. Making their way under the Michelin Bridge.
Race leaders out of the corkscrew down the hill through turn number 9 and 10 one more time as they've got a substantial lead over that third place rider working their way through turn number 9 themselves. Meanwhile, race leaders out of turn number 11 down the front straightaway one more time as it looks like it's going to be bike number 10M. Mark Miller once again stretching the legs on his bike as he still leads 045. Curtis Adams, here's your third place rider out of turn number 11 himself. Looks like it's going to be bike number 09. I think that's bike number 90D, Darren Govin out there running in that third place position. Then it's going to be bike number 1R, David Crussell in 4th. Then it's going to be bike number looks like bike number 188, Luke Luciano, rounding out your top 5 with bike number 771, Ray Hoffman back there in 6th, 16R, Roger Baker in 7th, 14, Brian Laraburu working his way up to that 8th place position, 880, James McKay back there in 9th, and bike number 811, Tommy Ryan rounding out your top 10.
Alrighty, let's take a look at Race Monitor real fast and get caught up. If you're tuning in and you want to see these full grids and the more specific details, make sure you head over to race-monitor.com. That's the feed that's on the screen right now, but I can only really show the first 10.
Attention out there in the paddock. Want to remind everybody, now would be a great time to check your bike. Make sure that your transponders are on there, that it's functioning properly. Again, great time to check your motorcycle. Make sure your transponder's on your bike and that it is functioning properly. Yeah, because it's bike number 90D.
Let's go see what's going on in the middle part of the track. I think everybody should be over towards the horseshoe. Yep, there they are.
Race leaders one more time out of turn number 11 onto the front straightaway. 045, Curtis Adams starting to reel in Mark Miller. Just a couple of bike lengths separated them two as they've got a couple of turns lead length over the third place rider, bike number 90D, Darren Govin out there as he comes out of turn number 11 one more time down the front straightaway himself up over the crest of the hill. Then it looks like it's going to be bike number 1R, David Crussell back there in that 4th place position off the podium as he starts the second half of his race.
Brian Laraburu and James McKay just now crossing start finish.
Want to remind everybody, race number 2, the CB160 Le Mans start race. Riders or racers, don't forget that you will need to have somebody as a bike holder, and we'll be calling for those guys or your bike holders to be headed up to Hot Pit Lane here in just a moment. So again, looks like we've got a really good size CB160 field out here. So again, CB160 riders, don't forget to make sure you've got a bike holder to come over and hold your bike. Also, for those that haven't ever seen a Le Mans style start, that'd be a great time to start staking yourself out a place over here in the paddock or close to Hot Pit Lane to watch. It's always a very entertaining start to watch these racers use this Le Mans start here in the CB160 race. So again, if you've never seen one, for the spectators or other racers, now would be a good chance to start working your way over here to the Hot Pit Lane and stake yourself out a spot to watch the start of the next race. Looks like bike number 10M, Mark Miller, is seen halfway. He's still being chased down by 045, Curtis Adams. Let's go first call. First call for race number 2, CB160, pre-1940, and novice historic production lightweight. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It's first call. First call for race number 2. First call for race number 2.
And James McKay, you could throw a blanket
Boy,
over
they're
those
going
two.
at it, aren't they?
Woo!
These guys are having a pretty good race here, too.
There's some real good racing going on out there.
Tommy Ryan and Jake Hinberger out there. I think they're running for, I think that's position for 10th.
They're neck and neck. Well, this is the halfway, right?
They're past halfway. In fact, I think this is leaders here. No,
they've already gone.
Wrong orange bike.
Yeah, they're already past us. Let's go look at that front straight. If you're looking for a little bit more information a little bit further down grid, make sure you make your way over to Speed Hive or Race Monitor. We should be up on both of those platforms.
Starting to encounter some lap traffic. 045 Curtis Adams made his move on that last lap. He sees the white flag, letting him know he's now in front. So it's going to be bike number 10, Mark Adams. His turn to try and reel in. Mark Miller, rather, his turn to try and reel in Adams as they're on their final lap. You're still looking back towards turn number 4, waiting for that third player, turn number 11, rather, waiting for that third place rider. As here he comes, it's going to be bike number 90D, Gavin Chauvin out there, holding on to that third place position as he sees the white flag, letting him know he's got on his last lap. Meanwhile, up front, Adams still holding on to a tenuous lead with Miller stalking him as those guys are pretty much nose to tail out of turn number 4 up through 5 and up to the top of the hill they go. Looking back through the field, looks like 188 Luke Luciano is holding on to the lead for Sound of Thunder 3, and then it's going to be bike number 16R, Roger Baker, leading for the next gen Superbike field as we're waiting for the race leaders of Adams and Miller to work their way down the hill here one more time. Here they come. Race leaders out of turn number 11. It's a drag race down the front straightaway. It looks like it's going to be bike number 10M. Mark Miller working his way back onto the top step of the podium, taking the unofficial win over 45. Curtis Adams back there for the Vintage Superbike Heavyweight. Let's go second call. Second call for race number 2, CB160 pre-1940s and novice historic production lightweight. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It's second call. Second call for race number 2, CB160 pre-40s and novice historic production lightweight. Second call for race number 2. Also for the CB160 riders, now would be a great time to start sending your bike holders up here to the hot pit lane. Again, CB160 riders, we need to make sure that you've got your holders up here on the hot pit lane when you guys get ready to go out for your hot lap in just a moment. Going on back through the field, like I said, 188 Luke Luciano taking the unofficial win for Sound of Thunder 3. 16R Roger Baker taking the next gen Superbike unofficial win. 7-1 Ray Hoffman taking the unofficial second for Sound of Thunder 3. Then looks like bike number 1R David Crussell, according to Race Monitor, took the unofficial third place for Vintage Superbike Heavyweight. Looks like 880 James McKay out there running, I believe, second in class for the next gen Superbike, and then bike number 14 Brian Larabruel rounding out your top 3 unofficially for that class.
Right. Great way to start today. Some nice smooth sailing out here. Absolutely beautiful, beautiful weather. Gorgeous day out here. We're gonna have 2 great days of racing. I can already feel it, Jay. I already know it.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and get set up for our next
This is probably the biggest CB160 class I think I've ever seen.
I know, right?
This is huge. This is bigger. This is bigger than what we get at Barber. 1, 2, well, just count the rows.
Yeah, there you go.
23 entries. They had to go 2 pages
All right,
to get them all.
let's go ahead and find CB160, folks.
Announced to referee. Did you say you're corralling the holders down there?
All right, race fans, welcome back. This is race number 2 for today. This is a 2-day program. This is our morning live stream. We will be taking a break for lunch, and then we'll be back for this afternoon. This afternoon's show is going to be, from maybe like noon to 5. It's a huge program.
It's going to be a day.
So make sure you come on back.
It's going to be a day.
It is going to be a day. Jay says it's going to be a day out here. If you are not familiar, the CB160 class is just what it sounds like. It is features the Honda CB160. This is an exhibition class, and this is a Le Mans style start. So the bikes are on one side of the track being held by an assistant, and the racers have to run all the way across the track, jump on the bikes, and then bump start them in order to take off. That is the traditional Le Mans start. This class, really interesting, really started gaining popularity within the last maybe 8 to 10 years as a way to be kind of like an approachable, price-wise, way to get into racing. It started out really hot and heavy out here on the West Coast, so no surprise that we've got really big grids out here for this race. But honestly, it's big grids everywhere for the CB160 class. It is just really taken off. It's a ton of fun. I've got a lot of friends that race it. It's a really, really fun thing. So thanks for tuning in. You're going to love the start. It's good racing. And this is race number 2 for today.
Attention to paddock, let's go third call. Third and final call for race number 2, the CB160, presented by N-Cubed Racing. Pre-1940, presented by Norton Manx Racing, and Novice Historic Production Lightweight, presented by LMP and Graphics Works. Third call, third and final call for race number 2, third call. Announced to start, third's going out. As the riders get ready to take the track, here's how they're going to grid up. For the CB160 race, in bike row number 1, it's 220 Tim Terrell. Row number 2, it's 73X Richard Illman. Row number 3, 51X Alan Siegman. Row number 4, it's 678 Matthew Winters. Row number 5, it's 13K Rod Skaggs. Row number 6 is 226 Tim O'Mahony. Row number 7, it's 218 Tico Sandoval. Row number 8, it's 72J Neil Jensen. Row number 9, it's M49, Thomas Hillard. Row number 10, it's 219X Tim Fowler. Row number 11, it's 091, Nick Taylor. Row number 12, it's 082, Brandon Jensen. Row number 13, it's 211, Karen O'Mahony. Row number 14, it's Samantha Doffo. Row number 15, it's 425, Richard Vanderstraten. Row number 16, it's 393, Arash Nadashari. Row number 17, it's 35L Jack Canes. Row number 18, it's bike number 116, David Stark. Row number 19, it's bike number 161, Mario Daffo. Row number 20, it's 36, Marcelo Daffo. Row number 21, it's 333, John Reagan. Row number 22, it's 761, Sam Kaufman. And row number 23, it's 07, Mike Miranda. For the pre-1940 field, presented by Norton Manx Racing and Rob McKeever on row number 25, it's 81, Ralph Wessel, 27, Bino Rodi, and 75A, Gary Roper. For the Novice Historic Production Lightweight, presented by LMP and Graphics Works, back on row number 27, it's 7S Mitch Skaggs, 76U Luke Sayer, and 831 Andy Davis. That's your field and how they're going to grid up when they come around to complete their warm-up lap. For the CB160 field, sponsored by N-Cubed Racing, this is an exhibition class open to 1960s Honda CB164 Stroke Twins. This class runs fewer laps than the non-exhibitions races, and it features the unique Le Mans style start, which is popular with both riders and fans. Machines range from lightly modified to full-blown racers. Riders must enter the 200 Grand Prix Plus class to be eligible for the CB 160 competition. For the pre-1940 field, this is sponsored by Norton Manx Racing and Rob McKeever. Bob McKeever, also known as Champagne Bob, raced at Daytona in 1948 and was heavily involved in vintage racing for many years. Sadly, he passed away in January of 2017 at the age of 97. Bob founded Champagne Bob Racing, which has evolved into Norton Manx Racing and carries on Bob's passion. Bob's son, Rob McKeever, is the team's manager and continues the race program. The Norton Manx Racing racers are Alex McLean and his wife, Cindy. This class is intended for 1940 and earlier GP and modified street machines up to and including 500cc overhead valve and overhead cam configurations, or the 750cc side valve machines. Like design models are also permitted. All major components must be OEM parts that existed prior to 1941 or are accurate, detailed replicas of the same parts using the same type of materials and technology. Alex McLean is the 2021 pre-1940 Grand Prix champion. For the novice historic production lightweight machines, this is sponsored by Louisville Motorcycle Performance and Graphics Works. LMP Shop specializes in vintage restoration, race motor prep, vapor honing, and reclaiming vintage brakes. If you want to stop, go see them. Gemco is a 40-year-old company specializing in custom handmade vintage racing exhausts. They can produce over 40 models from road racing, flat track, motocross, and off-road. They're taking exhaust orders at the rig. They can also transport vapor hone jobs. The field itself is for 1970 and 8 and earlier street machines and very close to standard production trim. Minimal modifications make this an inexpensive entry-level class, which is why it's intended for novice-level riders only. Looks like the CB160 field is set up out there. The riders moving across the track, waiting for the Le Mans start. The Le Mans start is obviously the riders stand on one side of the track. The holders hold the bikes, and when the green flag waves, the riders sprint across the track, jump on the bike, fire them up, and rocket down that front straightaway towards turn number 1 and turn number 2. Looks like our riders are getting set. Some of them already in the stance, waiting to sprint across the line, looking back towards Ed Bargy, our starter, waiting for that green flag to wave in just a moment.
But yeah, huge grids. I love all the similar names. You know, it's the families that race together, stay together. There's a lot of that going on. All weekend long,
they
actually.
go across this track, jumping on the machines themselves. Who's it going to be? Looks like they're trying to bump it going. Looks like up front, it is going to be bike number 73X, Richard Illman, getting his machine fired up as everybody gets going up. Looks like we got a couple of bikes that don't want to start. 698's paddling along, as is bike number 13X. That'd be Rod Skaggs. I still can't quite get it going. Oh, what a terrible start for Rod. And I think Rod was the one that bought the bike last night.
Oh, really?
I think he was the winner.
So we auctioned a bike last night, in case you're wondering what happened.
Well, yeah, I think they had a donated bike, and I believe he's the one that won it.
Yeah, we had a charity auction going last night. Oh, he's got to get across the... Oh, I guess he's going to give up. All right, so they're making way through turns 3 right now. They're heading towards...
Looks like the second wave of flag flies, and some of the novice riders get a great start, as it looks like it's bike number 7S, Mitch Skaggs, leading all the way from back on row number 27 as they get rolling up. And then it's going to be bike number Vino Rodi on bike number 27, bringing up the field as they work their way up over the crest of the hill to turn number 1, over to turn number 2. We'll get the full running order for you in just a moment when they complete lap number 1.
right, friends, we got race leaders making their way back through down through the horseshoe corkscrew right now, back towards start finish in this front straight.
Wrong track. International Horseshoe here at Laguna Seca, and the corkscrew, it's at Daytona. Race leaders out of turn number 11 on the CB 160 field, leading this next lap. Looks like it is going to be bike number 226, Timothy O'Mahony, out there with bike number 35L, Jack Haynes, right there behind him. They've got a little bit of a breakaway for that third place rider. It's going to be bike number 678, Matthew Winters back there in third, 72 Neil Jensen in fourth, and bike number 393, Arash Nadarshani, MD, rounding out your top five. Looks like 082, Brandon Jensen back there in sixth, 219X, Tim Fowler in seventh, 218, Tico Sandoval is in that eighth place position, 36, Marcelo Daffo back there in ninth, and bike number 761, Sam Kaufman rounding out your top 10.
All right, if you want the more down grid, a little bit further down grid results, make sure you head over to race-monitor.com. But these are your top 10 finishers currently. Again, this is that CB 160 class. Tim O'Mahony in 1. Jack Haynes, another Milwaukee, another Wisconsin guy coming out here. Super well known. As we go down the list, Tim Fowler, the creator of the Fowler formula, kind of credited with starting this whole movement of the CB 160 racing going on out here.
Okay, yeah, we've got two back-to-backs, but I'll drag just a little bit, but I'm pretty sure we can still get it in.
Let's go see where everybody's at. Taking a look right now towards the middle part of the track. Turns 4s and 5s before they make their way across the back straight, heading towards the corkscrew. Speaking of, let's go see what's going on over in the corkscrew. We got a couple more bikes coming through. This certainly feels like race leader. They're clipping along really good, coming through the corkscrew right now.
Looks like our race leaders have already seen halfway in this 4-lap exhibition race. White flag should be coming out for them this next time by as they're working their way around some of the back markers. Still out front, looks like it's going to be bike number 35L, Jack Haynes, worked his way up to the top step of the podium, being chased down by 678 Matthew Winters and 226 Tim O'Mahony back there went from lead to that third place position, but still on the podium as it's a three-way battle for this race as the white flag comes out, letting them know they're on their final lap. Fourth place is 393 Arash Nadashai out there, holding on to fourth, and 72 Neil Jensen rounding out your top five. 36 Marcelo Daffo back there in sixth, 219 Tim Fowler there in seventh. Well, it looks like 082 Brandon Jensen in eighth, and 218 looks like Tico Sandoval. He was holding on to that eighth place position, rather ninth that last lap. He is still, actually, he's dropped down a spot at 761. Sam Kaufman back there in ninth. Go for announce.
Not seeing everybody towards
Copy that, thank you.
They must have worked their way through already. There we go. Hear that we're getting into the pre-1940 classes. You can hear the different exhaust note.
Yeah.
Alrighty, and I feel like our race leaders should kind of be over by the horseshoe here in a second, so let's go take a look. Yes. I said horseshoe again, corkscrew.
It's all right. It's okay. Attention out there in the paddock. Let's go first call. First call for race number 3. Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme and Formula Lightning. You folks will be up here in just a minute. Again, it's first call. First call for race number 3. Sound of Thunder 1, the Motard field, and Formula Extreme and Formula Lightning. You folks will be up here in just a moment. Again, it is first call. First call for race number 3. Checkered flag out for your unofficial race winner, bike number 678, Matthew Winters, just nipped Jack Haynes on bike number 35L to take the unofficial win. So Winters, Haynes, and then bike number 226, Tim O'Mahony, round out your top 3 in a hard-fought race. And looks like that fourth place position is going to belong to 393, Arash Nadashani. out there holding on to that fourth place position, and then bike number 72J, Neil Jensen, rounding out your top five. Again, we're at first call. We're at first call for race number 3, Sound of Thunder 1 Motard, Formula Extreme and Formula Lightning. Also want to let everybody know that the swap meet and bike show is going on right now down in the fan zone area, down here towards turn number 3 in the hospitality area. You need to get down there, check out what they've got, the swap meet, maybe pick yourself up that missing part for your project, or find you that new project for wintertime, as we're already in the July area. So again, stop by the swap meet and the bike show. Judging for the bike show will happen from 2 to 3 later on this afternoon. We've also got Mimi and Moto books on sale down there. Stride Rider Bikes is down there. If you brought the kids, let's check them out and let them take a stride on the Stride Rider bikes. Also, we're going to have an autograph session down there from 11:30 to noon, so if you want to get on down there, check that out. We'll have some of the Isle of Man racers available down there. Got a lot of stuff going on down there, so also want to be sure to visit the Paddock Turn 3 Pavilion to see more incredible vintage bikes from Moto, Talbot, and Jameson's Classic Motorcycle Museums. For just $25, you can head upstairs and enjoy the air-conditioned indoor and outdoor viewing deck overlooking Turn 3 as the bikes roar past just below you. And while inside, enjoy the El Jefe Cash Bar and enjoy all on-the-track action from the best seats in the house. That's the Turn 3 Pavilion in the paddock. That would be why they wouldn't let us do what we wanted to do. Okay.
Alrighty, so as we're winding down race number 2 of the day. Again, for all, this was such a huge grids out here. I can only show the top 10 here on the race monitor here on my live feed, or else it kind of messes things up. So if you want to go see all of the further details and race order and results and time and all that good stuff, you can head over to race-monitor.com. But let's go ahead and set up for race number 3. What classes are these, Mr. J? Alright, let's see. It is Sound of Thunder 1. Yeah, no worries.
So talking much. I've got so much going on here I'm trying to do.
I know, no, you're fine. Thunder. Bam. Motard.
So we're gonna do race 3, and then we're gonna break for lunch.
Okay.
Streaming down out of the corkscrew.
Formula Race Extreme. Hey, Mr. J, I'm up here with Mr. J McMacken, holding down all the announcing duties, doing all of the heavy lifting up here. This race 3, this Formula Extreme.
Yeah.
What is in this class? This isn't Formula Lightning. Oh yeah, it's both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, I see what it is. Thank you. It's Formula Lightning and let's track them down.
Attention the paddock. Let's go second call. Second call for race number 3, Sound of Thunder 1 Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. You folks will be up here in just a moment. It's second call. Second call for race number 3, Sound of Thunder 1 Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. Second call, race number 3, second call. Okay, track is clear. I just did second. I got to pick up a bike. Our back-to-back should be fine.
All right, so this is going to be our map here at Laguna Seca. If you've never been here before, welcome. This is going to give you a little bit of a better idea of where we're at right now and all the different turns and what's happening through here. We are right near that turn 1 at the bottom of your screen, and I've got cameras looking kind of at 2 and 3, the middle area, which is 4 and maybe a little bit of 5. I've got the corkscrew over at towards 10, 7, 7, 8, 9, and then front straight. So that's where I've got my cameras all set up, so in case you're wondering where we're at and getting oriented here. So that's what's going on. We are here at the classic MotoFest of Monterey. If you're not familiar with this awesome MotoFest series, this is everything under the sun going on. It's road racing, dirt racing, bike shows, swap meets. You'll hear Jay talk about the hundreds of different things going on. It feels like all day long here. It is super exciting. This is the third in 4 MotoFest happening for 2022 here with the folks at AHRMA. For more information, you can head over to AHRMA.org for the rest of our schedule. We also had a really fun bike night on Thursday, and I went ahead and made a little video. So let's go ahead and check out a little behind the scenes of what happened at our bike night here in beautiful Carmel. So we have a pickup. I think a bike must have broke down out there. So we got to pick up a bike real quick, and then we had 2 racers that are racing back to back. As always, we have always. I mean, everybody that comes here races at least 2 grids. It seems like 2 or if not 3, if not 4. So we try to give them that extra little cushion of time to either change bikes, put gas in the bike that they're in, regrid, get themselves into position. So sometimes we like to give them like about an extra 60 seconds just to make that all happen. That way everybody has a fair crack at making sure they get all of their races, fitting in that they paid for. So we try to give a little courtesy. So we have a little bit of a timeout.
Let's go third call. Third and final call. Race number 3. Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. If you folks want to bring them on up, we'll send you out here right now. Again, it's third call. Third and final call. Sound of Thunder 1, presented by Erico Motorsports. Motard, presented by Moto. Formula Extreme, presented by Team Power Sports and Sven Alderman. And the Formula Lightning, presented by Peter Nicolosi. Again, third call. Third and final call. Race number 3. Third call for race number 3. Announced to control, third's going out.
And as we had our friend Mr. GT Greg Tomlinson explain to us, third means you need to be getting to the grid right now.
Exactly. Yeah, third means you need to be on
right now,
ready to go out because you got about 30 seconds worth to send you out your hot lap. Exactly. That is a scrub lap. Guy wants to go out and scrub in his brand new tires.
Gotcha. Well, we also learned something interesting last race we were at, the last MotoFest that I worked with you, Mr. J.
Yeah.
We were at Heartland, and we learned that sometimes these electric bikes, because this is an e-bike class right now, they don't quite have enough juice to make it through all of the race with the throttle wide open.
Yeah.
So some of them will skip this warm-up first lap opportunity, and they'll go out on the last board in order to still make it to the grid and go on race, but they won't take the advantage or the opportunity to do this scrub in, sighting lap, hot lap, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
They'll skip it because they literally don't have enough battery juice, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah, they did that. They did that at in April back up at High Plains Raceway. They had 3 of them show up there, and they're like, you know what? We're just gonna just bring us around the backside when everybody comes by. And that's how they did it.
I think we're good.
As the racers take to the track for their warm-up lap, here's how they're going to grid up. For the Sound of Thunder 1, presented by Erico Motorsports, on row number 1, 660 John Beldock, 329 Matthew Crabtree, 13X Steve Metz, and 77L Patrick Slansu. Row number 2, it's 222R Jeff Graham, 090 Christian Miekma, and 042 Thomas Montano. Row number 3, it's 4X Erwin Kolek, bike number 68R Craig Grantham. Bike number 351, Dan Wilson, and 9Q Jim Barker. Row number 4, it's 203, Dave Moss, 11T, Mark Jurasek, and 918, Daniel Buckner. Row number 5, it's bike number 174, Jimmy Weidman, 33C, Eric Grubranson, Bike number 18X, Gavin Botha, and 879, Michael Jobling. Row number 6, it's 123, Troy Sihan. Bike number 175, Matthew Canova. Bike number 91X, Alex Taylor. Row number 7, it's 771, Ray Hoffman. 99T, Todd Murray. 90R, Paul Vogel. And bike number 327, Kenji Watanabe. Then row number 8, it's 885, Ted Kasparian. For the Motard field, presented by Moto, back on row number 10, it's 21B, Andrew Berkeley. 60, Jeff Sessman. 501, Randall Wade. And 065, Yuri Brannigan. Row number 11, it's going to be 393, Arash Natasarian, one of my back-to-backs. He ran in that previous race. Then it's going to be bike number 33, Ron Melton, and 68X, Michael Vian. Then for the Formula Extreme bikes, sponsored by Team Power Sports and Sven Aldman, back on row number 13, it's 447, Peter Nicolosi, 316, Nick Lamberts, and 667, Patrick McBride. And for the Formula Lightning, sponsored by Peter Nicolosi, on row number 15, it's bike number 1K, Curtis Comer. 73X, Richard Illman. 96R, Kenyon Kluge. 366, Michael Matlock. And bike number 391, Dylan Andraco, back on row number 16. That is your field here for race number 3.
Alrighty, race number 3 going out. This is going to be Motard class, Formula Lightning Extreme. Both of those are e-bike classes. Sound of Thunder 1, the 1 meaning that it's the largest displacement of all of the Thunder classes. So this is a very, very fast grid out here.
For the Sound of Thunder 1, sponsored by Erico Motorsports. Erico Motorsports is a Triumph, Ducati, Moto Guzzi, and Vespa dealership located in the heart of downtown Denver, Colorado. Celebrating 3 decades of serving the motorcycle community, Erico Motorsports is exciting, exotic, and European. When in Denver, be sure to visit and check out their vintage motorcycle collection on display. Wearing the number 660, John Beldock can be seen racing his Erico Motorsports Triumph Moto 2 Daytona at AHRMA events. Some of the biggest, fastest bikes in AHRMA road racing are out on the field right now. Unlimited displacement 4-stroke singles, twins, and triples are represented. Also open to AHRMA's open 2-stroke bikes and even rotary engines.
Arthur Callis just peeked in because he races e-bikes, and he says the e-bikes have plenty of juice, but the battery heat built up on a setting lap keeps the bikes from having their peak power at the start of the race. Yep. So thank you, Arthur. I appreciate the intel.
For the Motard field, this is sponsored by 811 Underground Racing, our safety sponsor. This is known as Supermoto or Super Motard. Competitors often race on smaller tracks that combine a portion of dirt and pavement. And we're throwing a crimson flag.
Oh! What?
And sending the field slowly back to the paddock. Stay tuned. I'll let you know what's going on in just a moment.
What? So, Jay and I both are kerfuffled about what seems to have happened out here, but there's a red flag was thrown by Ed. So we're stopping the race, but I'm not totally sure why. And we haven't heard anything from race control, so stand by, everybody. We'll let you know as soon as we do. And this is that formula class that you see going across the screen right now, pulling in.
I wonder if we had a timing issue. I don't know. I'm not going to speculate.
Right, so Jay's got his earpiece in and he's waiting to hear from race control about exactly what has happened here. So stand by, everybody. We'll let you know as soon as we do as well. Let's take a second, though. Go thank some of our awesome sponsors. Couldn't do it without them, of course. They make all of these great race weekends happen, so I'm going to go ahead and click on over and we're going to show you that.
our script here when I looked up and saw that we had a red flag out there. So we've got a machine that has gone down over in turn 5. We're getting the situation addressed quickly, but it was going to take us a little bit of time, so we put everybody back in the paddock. Stay close to your bikes. When we get the situation addressed, everything cleaned up, we'll go ahead and roll the calls very quickly. So riders for race 3, stay close to your bikes. We'll get this situation addressed and roll the calls and bring you back up in just a moment.
Well, alrighty.
For announce.
Well, there we go. We just found out. We didn't realize what a bike had gone off track over in, I think he said corner 5. I think it's just picking up the bike at this point. I think everyone's okay, so that's good news. But they've got to get that cleaned up, so we just went ahead and sent everybody back to the paddock, but we're telling them to stay close because we are still going to run this race.
As far as I know, yeah.
As far as you know, we're still going to run this race before lunch. Let's see here.
Copy that. I'll go first, and I'm going to roll them quick.
Okay, so it sounds like we're getting it picked up as we speak, and he's going to start calling them back to the grid. So let's go ahead and go back to the track.
Okay, attention out there in the paddock. Racers for race number 3. We've just about got the situation cleaned up. Let's go first call. First call for race number 3. Again, we're going to roll the calls fairly quickly here. We're going to go first call. First call for race number 3. First call for race number 3, which is Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. We'll get you guys back up here in just a few moments. Again, first call for race number 3. That was weird.
I know, it was quick. Well, I think somebody just ran wide.
Well, to fall down on the hot lap, that does happen, but to have your bike in the middle of the track, that's even weirder.
But it sounds like everybody's okay. For those of you following along at home, everyone's fine. They just had to get that bike cleaned up. Or pushed off the track safely.
Copy that. I've got them on a 4-minute clock, but I might actually bring them down to a 3. Go. Copy that. Attention out there in the paddock, looking for bike number 10M, Mark Miller. Would you please report to tech immediately? Again, bike number 10M, Mark Miller to tech, please. Again, bike number 10M, Mark Miller to tech. Also, let's go second call. Second call for race number 3, Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, Formula Lightning. If you guys want to get yourselves prepared and bring yourselves on back up, we'll give this another try. Again, it's second call. Second call for race number 3, Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, Formula Lightning. Second call, race number 3, second call.
Alrighty, so it's going to take just 1 second. So let's go ahead and check out the great video put together about the Laguna MotoFest weekend. Let's go check it out.
Are up right now if you want to bring them on back up. Again, it is third and final call for race number 3, Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. Come on back up. We'll try this again. Again, it's third and final call, Sound of Thunder 1, Motard, Formula Extreme, and Formula Lightning. Third call, race number 3.
All right, Jay says it's ready to go. He says go time, it's show time.
Announce to control.
Or as Daniel May says, it's shake and bake time. Thanks, Daniel May. Shake and bake, Dan May says.
Announce to control. Third has gone out. Actually, my apologies. Yeah, they're all rousting back up.
Yep, I can hear them. So everyone's going to start heading back out to the grid here. And we are going to get race number 3 done, Jay.
Yes, we are.
It's happening.
Yes, we are. Boy, that's a really cool KTM that just went ripping by.
In the Motard class?
No, I believe it's time the Thunder 1.
Oh, okay.
I believe that's Gavin out there. Gavin Botha on 18X. Those KTMs are really good looking bikes, but they have some different styling on them too. Somebody's going Scott. One of the electric bikes is going straight to the grid.
Yep. Yes, as Arthur peeked in and let us know, it's hard to get peak power off after doing a hot lap, so the e-bikes choose to forego it and head straight to the grid, which is what's happening right now, in case you're following along at home and wondering why somebody's out there doing circles in the middle of the track. That is what is happening. This is the sighting lap, warm-up lap, however you wish to phrase it, for race number 3 for our very first day here, our classic MotoFest of Monterey. We will be taking a lunch break after this race.
Yep.
Break will last for how long, Jay?
About an hour.
About an hour, and then we'll be back for the afternoon part of the program. Afternoon part of the program lasts till 5 p.m., so very
or
long.
When the racing's done.
Or when the racing's done. So very long afternoon of racing, so make sure you come on back. We've got plenty of action, tons of great racing going on, huge grids, beautiful big blue skies. It is going to be fantastic.
Looking back on through the sponsorships for the Motard field, this is sponsored by 811 Underground Racing. This class is also known as the Supermoto or Super Motard. Competitors often race on smaller tracks that combine portions of dirt and pavement. In Motard, you'll see unlimited displacement 2- and 4-stroke singles, which are based on motocross or dual sport bikes with limited modifications for road racing. Motocross, off-road, dual sport, and Motard-specific single-cylinder machines are represented out there. Engine displacements are 2-stroke liquid-cooled up to 500 cc's, 2-stroke air-cooled unlimiteds, and 4-stroke liquid-cooled to 570 cc's are allowed out there. Then for the Formula Lightning Extreme, this is sponsored by Team Power Sports and Sven Aldman. This is open to bikes with unlimited voltage. And then for the Formula Lightning field, sponsored by Peter Nicolosi, these are all electric motorcycles featuring the latest technology with powertrains similar to the Nissan Leaf, the Tesla Model S, and the electric portion of the Chevy Volt. Speeds are similar to race-prepped 600cc gasoline-powered bikes, open production-based bikes up to 125 volts. Production race bikes are available from Zero and Bramo. Curtis Comer was the 2021 National Championship, and he's out there again today racing as the field sets up their grid positions, waiting for the green flag, which we should get going with here in just a moment. Looks like the 2 boards up, go to 1, sideways, and the green flag waves, and it looks like 042 Thomas Montano, or it might have been 9Q Jim Barker. One of the bikes over on the far side of the track got a rocket start as that first wave up over the crest of the hill into turn number 2, through 1 and into 2. Our starter watching over his shoulder to make sure that they've all cleared 2 safely, waiting for them to get through. Here comes your second wave. It's going to be the Motard field along with the electric bikes. As the Motard bikes, 2 bikes cleanly away. Oh, I forgot it's a 3-wave start. Waiting for the electric bikes to get going here themselves in just a moment.
Alrighty, and that's the tail end of that first wave, making their way through turns 3, headed towards 4. And this is the second wave now. You can see on your screen over to the far right, that is turn 2, and now we're looking through turn 3, and this is the launch of the electric bikes.
And the electric bikes away from the start-finish line. It's always a treat to listen to those bikes take off. It is so cool. to hear the electric bikes get going as they rocket up the hill towards turn number 1 over into turn number 2. Meanwhile, race leaders for the Sound of Thunder one working their way over the top of the hill, trying to work their way for the corkscrew, and down the hill they come. Here they come out of turn number 9. It looks like a 3-rider breakaway as the field single file now down through turn number 10 over into turn number 11. We'll get the running order for you in just a moment. I want to remind everybody at the conclusion of this race, we will be officially at our lunch break. There's plenty of stuff to do. We've got the swap meet going, the bike show's going on over there. We've got food vendors available. So again, lots of stuff to keep yourself entertained during lunch break as the Field Thunder bike to complete lap number 1. Cannot talk this morning.
All right, that is everybody rocking and rolling through there. This is right now looking up the corkscrew.
For the Sound of Thunder 1, it is 042 Thomas Montano leading 13X Steve Metz, 33C Eric Goldbranson out there. Then off the podium in that 4th place position, 222R Jeff Graham and 660 John Beldock round out your top 5. 174 Jimmy Weidman back there in 7th, 123 Troy Sihan back there in 7th, 351 Dan Wilson in 8th, 18X Gavin Maltha back in 9th, and 91X Alex Taylor round out your top 10 as that field setting a blistering opening lap here. Here comes your first place electric bike whistling across the front start finish line as they've working. These guys are really flying out there for electric bikes, not wasting any time to complete lap number 1 while the race leader Montano leads the rest of the field up the hill through turns 5, 6 over into 7. Man, those are cool.
I love it. I know, right? I love it. I can't get enough of it.
Here they
All right.
come.
Race leaders?
Mm-hmm.
All right, making their way down front straight right now.
Race leaders living up to their name as they thunder down that front straightaway one more time. It's 33C Eric Goldbranson out front of 042 Thomas Montano and 13X Steve Metz. Those three are just duking it out on this second or starting their 3rd lap here. Then 22R Jeff Graham back there in 4th and 174 Jimmy Wyman rounding out your top 5. 351 Dan Wilson back there in 6th. 660 John Beldock drops back in position back there in 7th. 123 Troy Sihan back there in 8th. 18X Gavin Botha back in 9th, and 91X Alex Taylor rounding out your top 10. Halfway flags should be coming out your next time by for the race leaders. For the Motard field, looks like it's bike number 21B, Andrew Berkeley leading in that class. Then it's going to be bike number 60, Jeff Sessman, and bike number 9Q, Jim Barker back there. He's running in the Sound of Thunder 1 field. 68X, Michael Veen rounding out your top 3 for the Motard field. Then it looks like it's bike number 96R, Kenyon Kluge, leading for the Formula Lightning field. Then it looks like it's going to be bike number 316, Nick Lambert, leading for the Formula Extreme electric bike field as the electric bikes start to complete their next lap.
Let's go see what's going on over in that corkscrew. It feels like it should be back here pretty soon.
Here come the Sound of Thunder 1 bikes once again rocketing across the start-finish line, seeing the green and white flags, letting them know they've got 3 done and 3 left to go. It is 33C Eric Goldbranson still leading 042 Thomas Montano and bike number 13X Steve Metz. That's your top 3 as they're working their way into some of the lap traffic already. Bike number 351 Dan Wilson up to that 4th place position, and 222R Jeff Graham rounding out your top 5.
Man, these bikes are just hauling the mail.
They're booking.
Just booking on through here. I'd like to take a second to point out those of you following along at home that AHRMA, contrary to our name, we absolutely have modern classes here. I mean, we are running a full e-bike class out here right now. So we do old stuff, we do new stuff, we do all of the stuff. So if you want to come race with us, which you should, make sure you check out information at AHRMA.org.
Big bikes, small bikes, even 3-wheeled bikes called sidecars.
All of the wheels. This is going to be the iconic corkscrew here at Laguna Seca. This sure looks like race leaders because they are.
Nope, not yet.
No, in the corkscrew right now.
Oh, wait,
yeah,
they
not
might,
yet.
yeah, they're probably over
not
there.
Yet,
Yeah,
not yet.
that's where they'll be. Yep, here they come.
There they are.
On that last lap, 042, Thomas Montano out there leading Gold Branson as those guys are using some of the lap traffic to play cat and mouse. Bike number 13X, Steve Metz, still sitting there in that third place, watching it all unfold in front of him as Montano and Gold Branson trying to figure out who's going to stand on that top step of the podium. They're past halfway, so should something happen in this race, it would be official. Running back through the field, 351, Dan Wilson back there in fourth, and 222R, Jeff Graham rounding out your top five. 174, Jimmy White, who's still back there in that sixth place position. 123, Troy Syhan back in seventh. 660, John Beldock in that eighth place position. 91X, Alex Taylor in ninth, and 18X, Gavin Botham dropping back a couple of positions, still rounding out your top 10. Going on back through the field, 11th place position is 71, Ray Hoffman. 12th is 99T, Todd Murray. 13th at the moment is 918, Daniel Buckner. 14th is bike number 329, Matthew Crabtree. 15th is bike number 11T, Mark Jurasek. 4X, Evan Kolick is back there in 16th. 68R, Craig Graham is in 17th. 175, Matthew Canova back in 18th. 21B, Andrew Berkeley back in 19th. And bike number 60, Jeff Sessman, rounding out your top 20 on his Super Motard machine.
On your screen right now, the lower part of it is from turns 3 to 4. The middle part of it is up closer to turns 5 heading towards 6. And then the backside of the track.
Race leaders deep into the field this time. Seeing the white flag, 042, Thomas Montano has a little bit of breathing room over Eric Gold Branson, but those guys are getting ready to encounter some lap traffic as they work their way through turns number 2. Then bike number 13X, Steve Metz back there in that third place position. 351, Dan Wilson in fourth, and bike number 22R, Jeff Graham still rounding out your top 5. As Montano continues to try and work through the back markers with Gold Branson right there behind him as they work their way out of turns 3, 4, and 5 up towards the top of the hill on this exciting final lap. Once again, I want to remind everybody we will be at lunch break immediately following this race. We got plenty of activities. We got food vendors down here in the swap meet going on, classic bikes. Be sure to visit the Paddock Turn 3 Pavilion to see more incredible vintage bikes from Moto, Talbot, and Jameson's Classic Motorcycle Museum. For a scant $25, you can head upstairs to enjoy an air-conditioned indoor and outdoor viewing deck overlooking Turn 3 as the bikes roar past just below you. And while inside, enjoy the El Jefe Cash Bar and enjoy all on-track action from the best seats in the house. That's the Turn 3
Race
Pavilion
leaders on your screen
in
right
the
now.
paddock if you want to check that out during the race time and later on this afternoon. Where are race leaders?
They're coming out of the corkscrew.
Okay. Race leaders out of the corkscrew one last time as they continue to work their way past the lap traffic. Who's it going to be as they're coming down that front straightaway? Here they are at the line. It's 042 Thomas Montano out there leading over 33C. Eric Branson taking the unofficial second, and bike number 13X Steve Metz coming home unofficially in third as they are just rocketing along. Then it's going to be bike number 351 Dan Wilson there in fourth, and bike number 22R Jeff Graham rounding out your top 5. Looking back through the field, looks like it was 21B Andrew Berkeley that took the unofficial win out there for the Motards with bike number 60 Jeff Sessman right there behind him. Then it looks like it's bike number 96R Kenyon Kluge taking the Formula Lightning for the electric bikes. And then bike number 316, Nick Lambert, looks like he took the unofficial win for Formula Extreme. Remember, these are all unofficial. You definitely want to check your finishing positions. In fact, that goes for everybody today. You'll want to make sure once you finish the race that you go check your finishing positions and make sure that you're on the grid. We've had that happen before where somebody forgot their transponder and they didn't realize it, and they go up and they check their grid positions thinking they took a certain position and they aren't even on the grid. So please make sure you check your finishing positions. There is a half-an-hour protest period after that, so you always want to make sure you want to check out what your finishing positions are.
Greg Levicki peeking in, watching the feed. Thank you so much for tuning in, Greg. We miss
Greg.
you out here.
Yeah, kind of wish you was out there.
A regular face out here with us here at AHRMA. It is a family affair.
And a darn fast rider.
I'm a darn fast rider. You're totally right. So this is going to be race number 3. As you just heard Jay say, we are going to be taking a lunch break. We'll be back after lunch, so make sure you come on back. We'll have a full afternoon of racing coming up. So make sure you hit notifications on. You are not going to want to miss it. See you guys on the flip side.
Yep.